Oh, welcome in, everyone. I'm Jack Neary from Fantasy Farm Sports. Lots of optimism in Denver today as they name Bo Nix the team captain. We'll get to that story in just a few moments. Guys, Fantasy Farm Sports is your place for sports news. Go to fantasyfarmsports.com. Get your betting advice, get your fantasy advice. We cover Division II college football. I'm going to cover Division I hot takes, great stories. Also, it helps if you subscribe to our YouTube page. You'll get all the updates. You don't have to do the homework because I do it for you. We've got merch headed your way. In fact, I just had the shirt made, if you could see it right there with our logo, Fantasy Farm Sports, by Ray's Creations. She has a live page on Facebook, so go check her out. What she does is she gets together with you guys and you work on a design together and you find a middle ground, and she makes sure that while she's in the creating process, that you're happy with the design. It's very important to her. So we've partnered with her for our t-shirts, and we also have our Gridiron helmets partnership as well for our trophies. That way, when you win league, you go to your mailbox in December. You don't only get some cash. You walk out there and you check around. You go, oh my God, what is this box? And you open it up, and not only are you league champion and you got some cash, right? You got a Gridiron helmet in the mail. It's a fun little piece of decoration for your man caves out there. But we've partnered with them. They do minis. They do large helmets. They actually did the helmets for Super Bowl 55. I thought that was super cool information for you guys to look at. So we've got Ray's Creations on board. We've got Gridiron helmets also on board with us. Now, let's get to our news today. Very important for Broncos fans. Broncos name rookie Bo Nix, team captain. Lots of optimism, but I'd be a little nervous. If I was a Broncos fan, I'd be super nervous because I know that we're high on Bo Nix, but it's clear that Sean Peyton loves him, right? He absolutely loves Bo Nix, but you have to be careful with second loves, right? Because when you lose your first, and let's be clear, his first love ever was Drew Brees. He loved him. They got along. I'm sure they had many dinners together. They had the same football philosophy, and maybe Bo Nix does as well. But your second love you're searching for, right? There was a break. There was a disagreement, right? Whatever happened with your first love, they're gone now. Whether there's a retirement or whatever happened between you two, it's over. And so you're sitting there searching and thinking that you can rekindle and do things the same way when you find your second love. And it's my experience that when you search for love, it doesn't quite work out the same. It doesn't. We want to manufacture and we want it to look the same as our first one. And we know all the things to do. We know the cards to buy. We know the plays to call. We know all these things. But let's look at what Sean Payton and the Broncos are really staring at in the AFC West, right? Because when he had Drew Brees, that wasn't a great division. That was a division for the taking. This division, the AFC West, has been taken. It's been taken by Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. The Chiefs are the Super Bowl champs back to back. By the way, it didn't get easier. You got Jim Harbaugh, who has now taken over the Los Angeles Chargers job, the national champion from last year. You've got champions from last year, albeit ones in college football, that have now joined your division. And I know that everybody's discrediting and discounting the Renegade Raiders. But let's talk about their new coach, Antonio Pierce. For all you Raiders fans out there, here's a bit of great information, right? It's a full-time gig for him now, which is great. Antonio Pierce has been given the job. We all know that when we're on a trial basis, right? We can't do everything exactly the way we'd like to do it. But now it's our job, and we can bring in some guys and we could do some things that are a little creative. And Antonio Pierce has done that in camp this year. Let me explain that to you. He brought in his old coach, Tom Coughlin of the Giants, and he brought in Marvin Lewis to help him understand and guide players as well in camp. I think it's very interesting that Antonio Pierce, a first-time full-time coach, noticed that he could use some help in guiding the Los Angeles Raiders. So he's not new to life. He's new to the full-time coaching job. And it's very important to put bodies around you that have been there before. Don't be fooled. Antonio Pierce is no fool. He knows what division he's in. It's difficult. It's owned by the Chiefs, and Jim Harbaugh is coming to town. And all the Broncos have done is named a rookie, Bo Nix, team captain. And I listen, I understand he's got a lot of experience. He spent 9 million years in college. It's a bit of a joke, but he spent a long time in college. But if we're being completely transparent here, he looked good in Oregon. He did not look good when he was at Auburn. He didn't. Alabama looked better than him. There were times he looked lost. The Georgia Bulldogs ran over him. The fans at Auburn were screaming War Eagle while constantly losing with Bo Nix as their quarterback. He's not going to a no-named, no-talent division. He's going to the AFC West. He'll see the champs twice this year. He'll see the Chargers. And Jim Harbaugh is going to have that Chargers team ready to go, much better than their last coach. And, the Raiders believe. And there's nothing more dangerous in sports or in life than an underdog that believes they belong. There's nothing more dangerous. So, forgive me if I want to pull back some optimism on this whole, Bo Nix situation and how much Sean Payton loves him, because for me, it's just crickets. I can't believe in what he's done. I don't know what he'll do. And the only thing I know is that Sean Payton really loves him. And, when you really love somebody, sometimes if it's your second love, you'll look past the faults that are glaring in front of you. I don't know. He never had the greatest arm strength. He never had the greatest mobility. He was a fine quarterback, but, is he even more talented than a Will Levis or a Trevor Lawrence or any of these other quarterbacks that have real questions behind them right now? You're going into one of the toughest divisions. You're putting all of Denver Broncos nation behind a quarterback who's unproven, has to play Mahomes, has to play Herbert. I understand that the Raiders are discredited, but Gardner Minshew has that underdog fight mentality. You're going to have to work at this. And this is not Pac-12 Oregon football where we just kind of throw it a bunch and the stats go up. You're going to get socked in the mouth. It's going to feel like the SEC. And you weren't very good in the SEC. I understand that those were many, many moons ago for Bo Nix. But if you close your eyes, you could still see him getting sacked by Alabama players and getting up and not having a clue and not being sure. I understand it's Auburn, but you needed to do a little bit better for me to deserve what you've gotten here. Maybe Sean Payton's second love ends up looking like his first one in Drew Brees. Maybe it happens. But Drew Brees was lightning in a bottle, and let's be honest, it's hard to capture that twice. I think this is a very dangerous situation. Hopefully, Bo Nix is able to learn throughout the season. Do I think he's ready? I do not. Because even though Sean Payton's happy with his second love, I think when the kid starts to get knocked around and starts guessing, because it'll happen in your rookie season with NFL defenses, that's when he'll run into some issues. And will he look like Oregon Bo Nix? Or will he look like Auburn Bo Nix? That's the question that hasn't been quite solved yet. So, that's our news for today from Broncos Nation. Guys, Fantasy Farm Sports for the latest and greatest NFL, college football, college everything. We're covering everything here as much as we possibly can. Go check us out. Subscribe to the channel. It's free, right? We're giving you information for free. You're going to win your leagues. Let's go.